You checked your phone this morning before you even got out of bed. You already knew there were no lions outside. You already knew the world was safe. But something in you needed to check anyway. That feeling is not a bad habit. It is not anxiety. It is not a character flaw. It is one of the oldest survival systems ever built by evolution, firing in a world it was never designed for. And once you understand what it is, you will never look at your own mind the same way again. Your brain is approximately 3 pounds of electrochemical tissue sitting inside your skull. It runs on about 20 watts of power. It processes somewhere between 11 million and 400 million bits of sensory information every single second. And yet the version of reality it hands you is not the version that actually exists. It is a filtered, edited, predicted version, one assembled specifically to keep a prehistoric primate alive on a very dangerous savanna. The problem is that you are no longer on that savanna. But your brain does not know that. This is not a metaphor. It is neuroscience. In 2009, neuroscientist David Eagleman published a landmark paper on what he called the predictive brain. His research confirmed what earlier theorists had suspected. The brain does not passively receive information from the world. It constantly generates predictions about what should be out there, then checks reality only briefly to see if anything has gone wrong. You are, in a very real sense, living slightly in the past, inside a simulation your brain constructed for you based on everything it has learned from the roughly 200,000 years your species has been alive. 200,000 years. That is a long time to learn. Your ancestors lived in small bands, rarely more than 150 people. Everyone knew everyone. Strangers were a genuine threat. Resources were scarce. The wrong decision, wandering too far, trusting the wrong person, ignoring a sound in the dark, could get you killed before you had the chance to reproduce. The brains that survived were the ones that treated every unknown as a potential threat. The ones that hesitated were not your ancestors. So your brain inherited a very specific operating system, and it is running on you right now. Think about the last time someone gave you a look you could not quite interpret. Maybe a colleague, maybe someone you passed in a hallway. Your brain immediately started running scenarios. What did that mean? Are they angry? Did I do something wrong? Should I be worried? You probably could not stop it. That was not overthinking. That was your threat detection system doing exactly what it evolved to do. Scanning social information for any signal that your place in the group might be at risk. Being exiled from the group in 50,000 BC was not embarrassing. It was a death sentence. Lisa Feldman Barrett, a neuroscientist at Northeastern University, has spent decades studying how the brain constructs emotion. Her work shows that emotions are not responses to the world. They are predictions. Your brain is constantly asking, based on everything I know, what is this situation most likely to require from me? It generates an emotional state in advance, then scans for evidence to confirm it. This is why you sometimes feel anxious before you know what you are anxious about. The feeling comes first, the story comes second, and the stories your brain reaches for first are ancient ones. Predators, darkness, social rejection, scarcity, contamination, heights, strangers. Your brain has a library of survival threats it built over hundreds of thousands of years, and it is always sorting through that library, checking today's events against yesterday's dangers. The alarm goes off when it finds a match. The problem is that the library is very old and the world has changed much faster than your brain has been able to update. You are afraid of public speaking. Evolution did not produce a fear of microphones. It produced a fear of being watched by a group of people who are evaluating whether you belong. Standing in front of a crowd, every pair of eyes on you. Your body runs the exact same program it would have run if your ancient ancestors had stood in the center of their tribe being judged. The stakes felt existential then. Your nervous system still treats them that way. You eat past fullness. You did not evolve in a world with unlimited food. You evolved in a world where fat stores were survival insurance, where calories were never guaranteed tomorrow, where the correct move every single time food was available was to eat as much of it as possible. Your brain learned that lesson so thoroughly that it is nearly impossible to unlearn. Willpower is not the problem. You are running a scarcity program in a world of surplus. You cannot stop refreshing your social media feed. Every comment, every notification is a small social signal, a data point about your status in the group, your belonging, your visibility to others. Your brain evolved to be obsessed with this kind of information because your survival once depended on it. The app did not create that craving. It simply found it already there and built a product around it. Psychologist Roy Baumeister spent years studying what he called the need to belong. His research, published across multiple studies beginning in the mid-1990s, showed that social exclusion does not just hurt emotionally, it impairs cognitive performance, disrupts self-regulation, and produces physiological stress responses nearly identical to physical pain. Your brain treats social rejection the same way it treats a broken bone because for most of human history, they were equally dangerous. This is what makes modern life so quietly exhausting. You are an animal designed for a world of immediate physical life or death problems. Eat or starve, run or be caught, stay or be exiled. Every threat had a body, a face, or a sound. You dealt with it and it was over. Your stress system was built for those short, intense bursts, a flood of cortisol and adrenaline, a sprint, a fight, a rapid return to baseline. That system kept your ancestors alive, but the threats you face today have no body, no face, no clear ending point, the inbox that never empties, the project with no finish line, the slow anxiety of social performance across platforms, of financial uncertainty, of a future that feels too large and too unclear to do anything about. Your stress system does not know how to classify these. It cannot run from an email. It cannot fight a deadline, so it stays elevated. Day after day, week after week, burning fuel your ancestors needed only in genuine emergencies. Stanford biologist Robert Sapolsky has called this one of the most serious mismatches in human biology. In his work on stress and chronic illness, he argues that humans are uniquely capable of activating a stress response by simply thinking about a problem. No other animal does this to the same extent. A zebra being chased by a lion has the appropriate stress response. Once the chase is over, the zebra grazes again. It does not lie awake at night thinking about lions. You do. Not about real lions, but about the things your brain has filed under the same category. Here is the part that should genuinely shift something for you. None of this means you are broken. None of it means your brain is malfunctioning. It means your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do, with extraordinary precision and speed, in a world that changed faster than any evolutionary timescale can accommodate. You are not bad at being modern. You are very, very good at being ancient. The moment you understand that, something loosens. When the anxiety shows up before the presentation, you are not weak. You are running 200,000-year-old survival software in a conference room. When you cannot stop scrolling at midnight, you are not addicted. You are an animal designed to stay alert to social information in a world that has turned that drive into an infinite, glowing feed. When you eat the whole thing even though you said you would not, you are not failing. You are the descendant of every ancestor who survived a famine by eating whenever they could. Understanding the source does not automatically fix the problem, but it does change the conversation you have with yourself about it. You stop fighting yourself as if you are the enemy. You start working with a very old, very loyal system that is simply operating in the wrong century. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett has said that knowing how your brain works does not make you a passive passenger in your own experience. It gives you the vocabulary to intervene, to recognize a threat response before it becomes a story, to name what your body is doing before it takes over the situation. Naming is not weakness. Naming is the beginning of steering. Your ancestors needed a brain that never fully relaxed, never fully trusted, never stopped scanning. That brain got you here. It carried every one of your forebears through a world that was genuinely trying to kill them. And it handed you the result, a species of 7 billion people with cities and satellites and the ability to understand its own operating system. You checked your phone this morning before you even got out of bed. And now you know exactly why. Not because the world is dangerous, but because the brain that carried your species through 150,000 years of actual danger does not yet know that the danger passed. It is still watching, still listening, still keeping you alive the only way it has ever known how. The question now is not whether you can turn it off. The question is whether you can learn finally to work with it.